Hello everyone, I am Zarek Sword Sentinel, and welcome to Pirates Waterworld. Waterworld is a custom rule variant of Pirates, where, long story short, the islands sink when there is no more regular treasure on them. The full rules can be found in the description. I was joined by Admiral A7X Fan Ben, and we decided on 100 points to build our fleets with, and decided to include custom game pieces as well. Furthermore, we decided on a few more house rules for this game: Round Earth and Wind. If sailing with the wind, a ship would get an additional +S to its base move, but if sailing against the wind, a ship would get -S to its movement. I went first with a fleet made completely out of my custom faction, the Ionics. 3 virtues plus Amakav, face down, and a helmsman. The Ignition plus Akar and Kina, linked, but both face down, and a captain. The Tuli plus Lewa, face down, and a helmsman. The Rune Nam, the Makua with a helmsman, the Reihi and the Gaki. Ben brought a mostly custom fleet as well. The Warring Tribes, pirate with linked Rastarius Kane and Jack Hawkins from Crimson Coast, face down. The Devil's Kingdom, cursed, plus Archdiocese of the Apocalypse, face down. Extra gunpowder, equipment, face down. The Gravedigger's Death Sentence, a set of native canoes. The Darkhawk 2, plus a face down Hammersmith and a helmsman. I went first, revealing Amakav on the 3 virtues and Kina on the Ignition. I then split my fleet up, with the 3 virtues making land to the northern island thanks to her built-in extra action. The Ignition and Tuli sailed south, while the rest of my fleet sailed in the general easterly direction. The Warring Tribes began towing the Devil's Kingdom, while the Darkhawk 2 made for the northeast island of the Cross Formation. The native canoes could not explore on their first turn, and so sat at their island, waiting. The wind shifted and began to blow west. This would slow down some of my ships, but would not be a bother to others. Ben's fleet would benefit from this, as most of his ships were either going west or were going to go west. The 3 virtues explored and found wolves. Alas, none of the ships in my fleet had a musketeer or a marine crew to deal with the pesky canines. The Reihi makes land on the northwestern island of the Cross, with company right behind. I now revealed Lewa and docked the Tuli at the southern iceberg island. Lewa allowed the Tuli to explore, where she found a 7 coin, a UT worth gold, and the Mask of Valor, a UT that would give her a ship +S to base move, +1 to cannon rolls, and would ignore the first hit it takes each turn. Ben's ships explored the island and the Cross, and found the Nat Pus Wound, a UT that they could play on an enemy crew that would eliminate that crew after turns equal to its point cost. Believing that the 3 virtues would be a large threat, Ben's pirates chose Amakav to receive the UT. With all the lootable treasure now in their cargo holds, the island the canoes had explored sank, the first of many. Ben's ships were slightly slower than the Ionic ones I was using, but they were considerably more armed. The Warring Tribes and Devil's Kingdom made for a decent combo, one that my ships could ill afford to be on the bad side of. The Rune Nam hovers off the coast of the northwest island, while the Reihi and Makua form the first stages of a chain, to share the gold with one another. The Gaki has made land at the southwest island of the Cross. The Tuli heads for the home fort, while the Ignition stayed put. Beginning a streak of incredible luck, the 3 virtues rolled successfully for her extra action, not needing Amakav's re-roll. She used her actions to take a nearby whirlpool and emerge near the foggy island in the southeast. The Warring Tribes and Devil's Kingdom make land, loading all available treasure from the southeast Cross Island. Or they would have, if the Vorox UT hadn't stopped them. The Vorox work similarly to wolves, in that they prevent any treasure from being loaded from the island they are found on. They differ from wolves in that they must be hit by all cannons a ship has available to eliminate them. A wider picture shows the Gravedigger canoes moving south, with cargo aplenty. The Darkhawk 2 hasn't moved, and the Warring Tribes and Devil's Kingdom are still docked at the southeast island. The wind shifted, blowing directly east. This would slow down ships trying to go west, but would greatly help ships going east. The Thule docked home her coins, the unicorn pearl in one face-down coin. The pearl was worth 10 gold, and gave me a huge advantage in the gold race. The Ignition loaded the last coins from the southwest island, which promptly caused it to sink. Elsewhere, the island the Gaki had explored sank as well, with all the coins going into her hold. Regrettably, the Gaki did not find any gold value coins, instead finding a mix of UTs. The Skrull shield would allow her to ignore the first hit she took each turn, and the Mask of Illusion would increase enemy cannon ranks by 1 against her. The Skull Spiders, however, would eliminate all of her crew, and if she made contact with another ship, another of the Skull Spider UT would be passed on to that ship. The Rue Nam took a risk crossing the reef and taking the last coins from the island the Darkhawk II had explored, causing it to sink. At the same time, the Reihi and Makua took all the loadable coins from their island, causing it to sink as well. The Three Virtues navigates the fog and makes land at the southeast island. Ben's pirate forces make for their home fort, presumably to unload the various gold coins they have. The Darkhawk II, Warring Tribes, and Devil's Kingdom are aided by the wind. My Ionic ships start to head for home base, but slower, as most of them are sailing into the wind. The Ignition does not head for home, but instead plots a southeast course, making for the foggy island. Speaking of, the Three Virtues succeeded with their extra action, explored the island, and returned to the fog, leaving a UT face up on the island and one presumably face down. Surprising the Ionic sailors, the island promptly sank, as neither UT left behind by the Virtues could be loaded. Aided by the wind, the Warring Tribes, Devil's Kingdom, and some of the canoes make for the whirlpool in the southeast. The Virtues decides to stay in the fog for a little while, as the Ionics assume the cursed pirates are trying to get her. Realizing that the cursed pirates could be trying to use the whirlpool to cut off their way home, the Ionic ships begin to look for cover, with the Ignition dipping into the fog and the galleys looking to do the same. The Makua made it into the fog by the home fort, while the Rue Nam turned around and sailed the other way, aided by the wind. The cursed pirates emerged from the whirlpool in the west. Using the wind in an extra action, the tribes in Devil's Kingdom sailed broadside to my home fort. It was then they revealed the extra powder equipment, which doubled the ranges of a ship's cannons for this turn. The Warring Tribes in Devil's Kingdom combined to eliminate my home fort from the game. This set my fleet back severely in the gold game, as I had close to 20 gold on my home fort. The rest of the cursed pirate fleet came through the whirlpool, with their eyes set on the northwest island where the wolves were. My fleet meanwhile had cleared the Vorox away from the southeast cross island, and had made land there, ready to explore. The Ignition had pointed herself south, looking to round Earth to the north edge of the map. The Three Virtues and Rue Nam loaded the few coins available and the island sank, leaving only the Wolves Island in play. Alas, the Rue Nam didn't load anything of gold value, with an ancient tapestry and letter of marque joining the Makoki stone already in her hold. Realizing what the Ignition was up to, the canoes created a screen for the Darkhawk II to protect her. The Warring Tribes in Devil's Kingdom positioned themselves to sail to the Wolf Island, as the Gaki tried to catch them and give them skull spiders. The rest of my fleet went into survival mode, trying to stay alive and hope that the gold stored collectively in their holds would be enough to outpace the cursed pirates. The Darkhawk II did not get stuck in the Sargasso and was able to eliminate the wolves using an abandoned musketeer, opening the island up. The Warring Tribes in Devil's Kingdom surged north, and docked at the island, loading all the available gold, a 5, 7, and the UT John's Hook. With no more coins, the island promptly sank. With no more dry ground, the game was called to an end. We each counted up gold, with my Ionic fleet just beating up Ben's cursed pirates, 17 to 12. The tiebreaker came down to a UT the Three Virtues loaded from the southeast island, which was worth as much gold as the ship had masts. If you'd like to see Ben's perspective of the game, follow the link in the description to see his live stream of the game. If you want to see what I do next, make sure you're subscribed. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.